On a blazing afternoon in Brookstone City, two cops tried to bully a quiet black woman by her SUV. No fear, no words, just silence. They thought she was nobody. But when the black car pulled up and armed lieutenants stepped out, the truth dropped like a bomb. They just cuffed their new police chief. The sun blazed down on Brookstone City, melting the pavement into waves of heat that distorted everything except the truth. At the corner of 9th and Madison, a black woman stood beside a sleek black SUV, dressed in a tailored suit sharp enough to cut steel. Her shoes gleamed, her posture was regal, and her expression hidden behind expensive sunglasses gave nothing away. But to officers Monroe and Jenkins, she was nothing more than a problem. "Ma'am, this ain't a parking zone," Monroe barked as he stepped out of the cruiser, one hand on his belt, already posturing like a man who thought his badge made him king. "I'm gonna need some ID." She didn't even blink. Jenkins smirked as he stepped closer. "You deaf lady, or just playing games?" She turned her head, slow, graceful, unbothered, like they were children trying to provoke a storm. But this storm had already passed through war zones. They didn't know she was Celeste Monroe, Bronze Star veteran, former Army colonel, and, as of this morning, the newly appointed police chief of Brookstone City. That news hadn't gone public yet. But it didn't matter. Not to them. Because they weren't looking at a person. They were looking at their bias. "Put your hands where I can see them," Monroe snapped, hand twitching at his holster. People began to stop. Eyes turned. Phones came out. Mothers clutched children tighter. But Celeste didn't move. Her heart beat calm, measured, just like it had in Afghanistan when the Humvee in front of hers vanished in an explosion, just like it had when her little brother was shot at a traffic stop for reaching toward his wallet, a moment that altered her entire destiny. She didn't flinch then, and she wouldn't now. Monroe moved closer, aggression bubbling. Jenkins yanked open the SUV door without permission. "Registration," he demanded. A pristine black folder sat inside, marked with the city's official emblem. Untouched, sealed, still waiting to be read. Monroe pointed. "What is that? Some fake badge?" No answer, just silence. But Celeste's silence wasn't fear. It was discipline sharpened by loss. Grace forged through fire. "Lady, you're gonna regret this," Monroe muttered as he grabbed her arm. That was their first mistake. A teenage girl nearby whispered, "Don't do this," as she filmed. A man clenched his fists but stayed frozen, knowing exactly how these moments end. Jenkins pulled out the cuffs. "Turn around," he ordered. Celeste finally moved, just enough to tilt her head. Then came her voice, calm, chilling. "I advise you to stop." Monroe laughed. "You advise? Who the hell do you think you are?" That's when it happened. A black, unmarked sedan pulled up. Doors opened. Two sharply dressed lieutenants stepped out, faces locked in military calm. No words, just presence. Jenkins bristled. "This is a private—" "Stand down." The command sliced through the air like steel. Confused, the officers hesitated. The younger lieutenant walked to the SUV, opened the black folder gently, reverently, and held it up for all to see. Inside, the mayor's signature, the official seal, the title, Chief of Police, Brookstone City, effective immediately. Monroe's jaw dropped. Jenkins blinked like a man slapped by truth. The crowd didn't erupt. They just stood still, like the whole city held its breath. Celeste stepped forward, heels echoing on concrete. She stood inches from the men who had manhandled her minutes before. Not angry, not vengeful, just heavy. "You didn't see a woman," she said, voice low but piercing. "You saw a target." Monroe opened his mouth. No words came. "You didn't ask. You assumed. You didn't lead. You followed your bias." Silence. Then she turned to the crowd. "This isn't just about me. It's about who gets questioned and who gets respected, who gets the benefit of doubt, and who gets the back of the hand." The quote hit like thunder, and that's when the cameras arrived. The mayor, reporters, headlines. But Celeste gave only one statement. I was tested today, and so were they. But I forgive them, because change doesn't come from rage. It comes from rebuilding what's broken. Within a week, the officers were suspended. But Celeste didn't fire them. She requested they be retrained under her direct supervision. I want them in the front row, she said. I want them to understand the weight of what they did. Then I want them to earn back what they shattered. Change didn't come in riots. It came in quiet rooms, in difficult conversations, in leadership that didn't shout. It stood firm. And in every precinct, rookies and veterans alike whispered one truth. She's the storm you never see coming. Because real power doesn't roar. It waits. If this story stirred something in you, if you believe respect must be earned, not assumed, if you know real leaders don't need to scream to be heard, then do this. Comment where you're watching from. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more powerful stories of quiet strength and justice. Because real change begins with those who refuse to be loud and choose to be unshakable.